All right, guys. Welcome to the Gridiron 7 on 7 League Playoff Show brought to you by Reader Chevrolet.
Carlos, if you need a hometown dealer that's been dependable since 1912, then take a ride down to Reader Chevrolet off Clinton Highway for all your automotive needs. They service and sell all makes and models, plus they have a certified collision center to get you back on the road when accidents arise.
Let's get right into our JV um, playoff matchups, Tony.
Yeah, this week, we're in playoff weekend. Uh, we always try to have good matchup weekends. In the middle of the week, middle of the season in week 4. We had some matchup weekend where we matched up some of the top teams versus some of the lower level teams. Uh, this time around, just sharing this really quick on social media. Sorry about that. We'll go week 7. Gridiron report. All right, we're good to go. So this week, we have a few games. We hadn't released the schedule yet, so Corey will show that here later when we get into that. If you saw the schedule on last week's show, disregard that. We had to make a few changes to get everything right. But we're going to get right into this and talk about some of the matchups and how these teams have paired up. Head to head this week, Carlos.
Yeah.
It's been really, like I said, good competition, man. Not too many teams have just dominated their age group and had some close games. So we'll go game by game. So as we're talking about our 12 JV division this week, the first game of the week is going to be the Chiefs versus the Avengers. The Chiefs are 0-2 versus the Avengers this year. Chiefs been 0-13. Avengers are 3-10. Made a great run in our midseason tournament. I'm curious to see what they do. This week. We got Squad Bearden is our next matchup. It should be a really big game for us.
That's going to be a real good game.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Goon Squad is third in the league right now at 9-6. Bearden's at 12-4. They're 1-1 head to head. Goon Squad won 26-16. Bearden won 26-17 in their 2 games. Two of the top teams in the league. Should be a really good matchup.
Sure.
The next game we got the Rising
It'll be
Stars
just
versus
as
Goon
just as
Squad
good,
also.
Tony.
Yeah, this is going to be a big game right here. They're 1-1
Right.
also head to head. 27-21 when the Stars won. 17-14 when the Goon Squad won. So they played close games both times.
7-4 in their division and 9-6, like you said.
Yeah, so I mean, this is one of those things. If the Goon Squad were to go 0-2, and the Rising Stars were to win their 2 games, there's potential that they could move into because they'll have the head-to-head matchup with the same amount of wins with a 2-1 head-to-head deal, so they'd be able to move above the Goon Squad and really reach up in there. But they've got some tough games, to win as they go.
Yeah.
Our next matchup, we got the Chiefs and Knox Stream. Knox Stream, the Chiefs are 0-2 versus Knox Stream this year. Knox Stream's really, won 21-6 and 26-16 in both those matchups. But it's our two bottom teams in the seed right now. Just letting them battle it out. Compete against each other. The next matchup we have, I think it's going to be a good one. The Stars didn't play with us last week. So they didn't get to match up on those last couple games. So the Stars and the
This is an interesting game right here. The Stars and the Avengers.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The Stars are 2-0. Head to head. Really, won big the first game, 24-7. And then just late, it might have been this past 2 weekends ago. It's 28-24. So cut the gap. The Stars still score points, but the Avengers were able to get some points on the board also. So that's going to be a good one. Then the next one, you got Young Guns versus Knox Stream. This is the one game that the Young Guns has played everybody in the league twice except Knox Stream, so they got to get that second game in. They played in week 1, I believe. Young Guns won 19-2. Young Guns are 12-3 right now. Sitting there on top of our board right now at second place with Bearden. So that puts us at the biggest game of the week. For this.
Yeah,
12,
for all the marbles. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, for this JV group, we got Bearden, Young Guns last game. They're 1-1
be the number
against
1
each
seed.
other. The first game, Young Guns won 17-14, and the second game, Bearden really kind of ran away with it, got them 21-8. So I'm curious to see how that matchup goes. Bearden sitting at 12.
It's going to be number 1.
Young Guns at 12-3, And even if both teams lose their other games, it's really who wins this one will be the
Right.
number one seed.
Right.
So the 12U bracket, man, it's looking pretty good. It's kind of almost, it's almost got itself the JV division. I mean, it's almost got itself already ran through. You got Bearden and Young Guns potentially at number 1 or number 2.
Hmm.
Our number 3 seed. We were
Still
talking about
up for
that Goon
grabs.
Squad, Rising Stars. If the Stars can pull off 2 wins and Goon Squad just lays an egg, the Rising Stars can pull that 3 seed. But
Hmm.
right now, Goon Squad's sitting there, and the Rising Stars are going to be at 4. You got the Avengers at 5, Knox Stream at 6, and then the Chiefs sitting at 7. So, go be some good matchups.
Yeah.
First round. Um,
That
just looking to
final
see.
game, though, Tony, that's going to be it. That final game between Young Guns and Bearden.
Yeah, that's actually going to be. Oh yeah, you talk about just the final get regular season game.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's going to be a big game. We definitely got to get down there and see it.
Hmm.
And see how it plays out. But heck, and if it works out the right way for them, I guess not really for us. They'll see each other in the last game of the day.
Right.
In that championship game, if they can pull it through and let the number 1 and 2 seeds go ahead and get through. But like I said, Goon Squad, Knox Stream, the Stars,
Rising Stars.
you
Yeah.
the Chiefs. They're going to come out and play their best game.
Yeah.
I think the weather's going to be good. Hell, you've had all season to figure it out. I've been looking on the huddle. Guys are actually watching huddle. I can get on there and see how many hours or minutes or whatever they put on there. So people are trying to figure it out, man. And so the JV division, it's been really really fun this year, and we got a couple more games left to kind of see how it lays itself out. But looking forward to those guys finishing up. The other thing, just talking to Carlo, I guess talking to everybody, right? uh, the biggest thing I think in these last 2 games, we were talking about stats and career leaders and who's had the biggest seasons in the past. That's really what these 2 games are for. If
Mhm.
the games aren't matchup games that really moves you through, some of those guys need to get some stats. Throw some touchdowns, catch some touchdowns. Do your thing, move yourself into that leaderboard, or
Yeah.
move yourself up in that career deal. But JV division, looking good, man.
The
Going to
wrap
be
on that.
exciting. Yeah, let's wrap
Yeah.
that one up and let's move on. I think we have a commercial from our sponsor for this week at Reader Chevrolet that's going to pop up here.
Waiting every day with classic cars and Corvettes. Man, that's as good as it gets. So let's take a ride to Reader Chevrolet.
All right, Tony, let's talk about our varsity playoff matchups. Some interesting matchups in our varsity division as well.
Yeah, man. Varsity division is the most competitive division right now. Well, I wouldn't say from top to bottom, because we've got 2 teams sitting at the top. We're looking at it. You look at the standings for that group. You've got Team Up Gray and Co
Team Up
Blue.
Gray. Yeah, and Cold
Team
Blue.
Up Gray, Co Blue. They're head and shoulders. They're number 1 and 2 in the league right now. They've ran through everybody. Beating everybody. Beat up on each other a little bit. They're 1 and 2. They played 3 times this year, which they'll get another game. We'll give them 4 games against each other. And that's been their best competition. We put them up against some high school teams, and Team Up Gray went 0 and 5. Co Blue went 1 and 4, I believe, or 1 and 5. So they're not at that level yet, but at their age group, they're the best we've got right now. But now the rest of the bracket, Bearden, Cougars, Crushers, Seymour, and the Stars.
All still
Bearden
battling for
can.
position.
Yeah, I mean, any of those spots, all the way down to 7th. The Bearden's got a good thing going. They're going to be 3rd or 4th.
You just
We're
got to
talking.
win one game and they should clinch 3rd.
Yeah, they should be able to clinch that for sure. But if we're looking at them, first game is Cougars and Bearden,
Hmm.
which is a big game for those guys. We've got 3rd place team, 4th place team playing against each other. Cougars are 1 and 2 against Bearden. Bearden won the first 2 games, 18-16, 33-10. In this past game, for the 3rd game, the Cougars won 28-16. So if they, and this is kind of the fun part, right? Just looking at the numbers, if they were to be tied with the same amount of wins, and finish with 8 wins each, Bearden just doesn't catch a win or catches 1 and Cougars catch 2, at 9 wins. the Cougars would have to win that head-to-head game by 10 points or more, because with the points scored is what it goes to after head-to-head. So, the Bearden's got a 9-point lead, on that 65-56 on their 3 games or whatnot. But should be a really good game. Cougars just always find a way to move the ball downfield, man, and make a few plays. So,
I think this Seymour team, coached by you, is going to be scary.
Yeah, I think if everybody shows up, I hope they're competitive. That's for sure. We got Stars and Crushers. In that next game, Stars are 0-1 versus the Crushers. Crushers won 30-13 in their matchup. Just should be a good game. You got Blue and Gray, Code Blue and Team Up Gray playing. Probably one of the bigger games of the day, just competition wise. But it's not really going to affect anything in the standings.
Right?
Just looking at their 3 games, Team Up Gray won the first game 22-20, and then they came back in the second game, and Team Code Blue won 28-26. So 2 2-point
Close games.
And then last weekend, Team Up Gray won 21-12. If Code Blue lost a game, they lost to Rising Stars sometime early in the year. Just played a bad game, and got beat. Stars played a great game, and beat them. If they would have won that game and won out against everybody in the league, and both teams were undefeated except against each other, then this game would be a bigger game. It'd be one of those games that's setting that number 1 seed. Right now, Team Up Gray's got the number 1 seed.
Gray's got it clinched.
Code Blue is going to be number 2, and so the big thing is Team Up Gray gets a bye week, and so what we're talking about on all these other teams trying to figure out their bracket is who's got to play Code Blue at number 7. So the Rising Stars, and we talk about the next game, Rising Stars and Seymour. Both of those teams are sitting at the bottom of the bracket right now at 6th and 7th. The loser of that game is probably going to end up 7th place, and having to play Code Blue. Seymour actually beat the Stars the first time, or the only time they played, 24-17. So, no telling how that game will go. The next game we have, which has been a pretty good matchup this year, is the Seymour and the Cougars. Seymour's 1-2 against the Cougars. The Cougars won the first 2 games, 28-18, and then 21-13. Past weekend, Seymour won 22-11. So, there's a chance if the Cougars weren't to win any games, go 0-2, and Seymour to go 2-0, Seymour could move up, and take the lead in a head-to-head deal with a 2-2 lead. But Cougars have them beat right now, point-wise, 60-53. So the Seymour will have to win that second game by 8 points or more to even consider being able to move up past them in any kind of.
I wouldn't put it past them, Tony. With you at the helm and the way those guys played last week, those guys are peaking at the right time.
No, absolutely. We talk about that every year. Just teams that kind of figure it out a little bit, and start progressing near the end, and that's what we want, right?
That's exactly what we want.
Have fun near the end. I don't care if you win, lose, or draw through the beginning, but pray and I hope that everybody just gets better and sees the progress. Progress is seen in points and stops and stats and stuff. But the next matchup we have that's going to be a pretty good one. Crushers and Bearden.
Yeah.
Bearden holds that series 2-1 right now. Crushers actually won the first game they played 28-21. And then the second and third game, Bearden's kind of handled it. Second game was tight, 18-14, and then 27-9. That third game they played. So, for the Crushers to even have a chance to win the head-to-head matchup, they'd have to win by like 16 points or whatnot. Cougars and Crushers is another matchup that'll be a good one. Cougars have kind of dominated the Crushers though throughout the season. They're 3-1 versus the Crushers. They won 24-22, 16-12, 20-16.
The Crushers did win. It was big.
Yeah, exactly. When they did win, they won big, man. 45-8.
45-8.
I was watching that game. They did, Crushers. One thing, when the Crushers can throw it deep and can hit that wheel route and hit you deep down the middle, that's their game. Elias Childers has been good at the deep ball this year, and should be a good matchup. I don't think it's going to affect the standings. Now the Crushers can't lose both their games though, because if they do, they'll end up 7th playing Code Blue. So their job is to hold their spot, right there at 5th place, possibly 6th. The next game we have, so yeah, that was our first 3 games. I was really just talking about matchups. If we just talk about head-to-heads, Code Blue beat Bearden 1-0 this year, 34-2. Probably second week of the season. The Stars and the Cougars played 2 times this year. The Stars have them, 2 games and nothing. You got Seymour and the Crushers. That's one that they've already played their 4 games against each other and end up tied up 2-2 head to head. But the Crushers, when the Crushers won, man, they won big. So the Crushers scored 83 points and Seymour scored 54. So I mean, they've got a 29-point advantage, which is probably one of the bigger advantages in some of the head to head matchups. Seymour and Bearden. Bearden's 3-1 head to head against Seymour, so they kind of dominated that little deal. But we had the bracket up just a few minutes ago. We get that back up and we kind of take a look at it. It kind of shows what we these are guesstimations. A little expectation of what we might see, but it shows Team Upgrade's gonna get the bye. Code Blue's sitting there at 2, and the Stars, Seymour, and the Crushers are just going to figure it out. And battle it out. And then even 3 and 4, Bearden and the Cougars, that's going to be a, kind of a see how Bearden plays. If Bearden just get 1 win, they should be situated.
Right.
But should be competitive, man. This is a good group.
Real good group.
The big thing is which quarterback. Because we've got there's a camp this weekend. That a lot of the quarterbacks around the country go to, and some good friends of mine. Guys that used to staff for me with the Gunslinger Challenge, they got a quarterback universe camp down in Atlanta, Georgia this weekend. And so we've got Cherry, which is playing Team Up Black in the high school division. We got Briggs Cherry, we got Elias Childers, Madden Guffey, and Blaine Stansberry, man. So I got 4 8th graders headed down there to compete and have a good time.
Oh, that's good. That's impressive.
So they're all going down there, big time camp. It's invite only, so, for those guys to be, recognized as some of the top quarterbacks in the country, to be able to go compete in that thing's a big deal. So really it's who's going to get home on Sunday in time to play in the tournament. And who doesn't get caught up in traffic, is going to determine.
They're going to probably leave Saturday night after it's over.
Well, Sunday is when it ends, and with them not starting, varsity division doesn't start till I think 3:30 or 3 o'clock.
Okay, they should have enough time.
They're going to try to finish that morning session Sunday, because the morning session is when they give out the awards. They'll give out the best, top quarterback per age group, and to be honest,
those guys do a good job with that.
Yeah, I feel like shoot. I've been, I've helped with the QBU a handful of times, and I see the talent that comes through. It's pretty talented, but I think Blaine and Duffy and Childers and Cherry, those guys.
They can go down there and make some noise.
They're as good as they come, man, when it comes to middle school 8th grade football, man. So go represent, man. And do your thing, and have fun, and we're always pulling for you. And then when you get back up here, you can compete and get after it some more. But
move to the high school guys, Tony, and their matchups.
Yeah,
for Sunday.
Yes, sir. So when it gets to the high school group, not a lot of movement probably in where we're set. We got Carnes and CAK is going to be the first matchup. Carnes is 4-6, CAK is 3-6. They've not played all year against each other, so it's kind of a coin toss. See who's going to win that one. Game. One game that's a good game that won't really affect the standings. 1776 versus Betsy. Betsy built. Even with 1776 without Isaiah Hall last week, they still were able to throw some touchdowns, win some games. So hopefully them being one of the top teams in the league, not having him, they won't fall off too far. But 1776 is 2-0 versus Betsy. Beat them 17-16 in a really tough matchup the first game, and then 23-16 the second game. The third game is Team Up Black versus Bearden. This is going to be an interesting deal. Team Up Black has to win at least one game. Because when you're looking at the standings, we've got who is it? Pressure. We got Team Pressure, and we've got
Pressure's made up a lot of ground in the last 2 weeks.
It's Bearden and Pressure.
Yeah,
and they're sitting at I think 2 and 3 behind Team Up Black.
Right.
And
6 and 3 and 6 and 4.
They're about to play against each other. They're about to play against each other this weekend. Kind of a little round robin between those three. to kind of see, who's going to be the team. So
Right.
if Team Up Black only wins one game and finishes 8-2, I think Pressure is the only team that can actually beat head to head. When we're looking at this,
Mm.
Black and Bearden, Black's 2-0 against Bearden. So if they have the same amount of wins and Bearden beats Black, they'll be 2-1. So they'll still have the heads up matchup. But,
Right.
when you look at Black and Pressure, they're 1-1 head to head. So if Pressure can win 2
Mhm.
games and Black only wins 1, then Pressure will pull off the number 1 seed, just having a head to head deal, leading the series 2-1. So,
Wow. I mean, that's incredible consider where they started. And they got a chance to be the number 1 seed.
yeah, I mean, absolutely undefeated 2 weekends in a row, 6-0.
Right.
I think they had 0 wins in the conference,
Mhm.
and won six straight games.
Mhm.
But that's the fun part, right?
Mhm.
Not playing just 1 game or 2 games a weekend. If you can get that third
Right.
game, it really can change the standings. It can change the stats. It can really be a big game changer. In the big deal, in the scheme of it. But the next game we got Seymour and Seymour and the
Hurricane.
Hurricanes. A battle of our two bottom teams, kind of, for the year. But let them battle it out and see who can compete and try to get some numbers and stats for
Mhm.
the end of the season. Next game, like we talked about, Black and Pressure. They're 1-1 head to head. Team Up Black, 16-14 the first game, and then this past weekend, I believe, Team Pressure won 20-14 in that second game. So that's gonna be one of the biggest games. It's gonna be on
Mhm.
field. I think it'll be on field 1. It'll be live.
Mhm.
It should be a game that everybody want to watch.
Right.
Kind of see how things go. Next game we got Hurricanes and Cougars. They're 1-1 this year, head to head.
Hurricanes got their only win of the season. I mean, in the conference
Yeah,
against the
that was their
Cougars.
and Cougars are one of the best teams. So the
Yeah.
Hurricanes have it in them, man. They just got to
Yeah,
come
they
out and play
do.
big,
They just got
big
to
this
play.
weekend, and
Mhm.
just
They got
perform
some
and do their
guys.
thing. And hopefully the ball bounces the right way. Get a call or two. And all that good stuff. We got Carnes and the Crushers up next. Carnes, has been one of those teams that we're kind of curious how this is going to happen. And they're 4-6 in the conference, but I think they've got like 8 or 9 wins in overall in league play.
Mhm.
But they're 2-0 against the Crushers right now. Won 28-11, 29-19. Win, lose, or draw right here. It really won't affect any of the standings really. I think Carnes kind of stuck right there in that middle range with 4 wins. The next game we have Betsy built CAK. Betsy's 2-0 against CAK. So they're going to be ahead of those guys no matter what. They won 16-12 and 12-10. Played really close games. So
AK's
CAK's
got some tough games.
yeah, no kidding, man. They've
Mhm.
got Carnes, they got Betsy coming up,
Right.
and then
Betsy team is no slouch. They can beat anybody
yeah, they can,
in
man. If
their
they
own.
get on rhythm and
Right.
get a couple of their guys, in the game early, they'll play a little bit better. You got Beard and Pressure. That's going
Mhm.
to be the other big game.
Yeah.
Pressure's got a big weekend this weekend. That little bracket on the right side, that the Gridiron division is a little
Name is
more
fitting. Name is
clustered.
fitting.
Yeah, exactly, right? Pressure's on,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
but both teams 6-4. The first game they played against each other, Bearden pulled it out 24-16. The second game, which I'm not sure what week it was, once in the last 2 weeks probably, was 18-14. So Hunter White's trying to make a run for it.
Yeah.
And we talk about him a lot, but it's just fun, finding guys that have been part of this thing for a long time. And then when you've got the
And
stats and
guys
all
that
that
give you
stuff, I
something to
mean,
talk about.
yeah, exactly.
You know,
And
he gives you something to talk about. I mean, career. Touchdown leader. The guy's just out there. Just having fun. Playing football. I think this is one of his last hurrahs, so he's making the most out of it.
yeah, and that was a big thing. I was talking to his dad a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "Man, it's a little different this year, because in the past it meant something because they were moving into a season,
Hmm.
and getting ready to compete, and this year it's kind of like they're just kind of finishing it off, man. Finishing off a career and having some fun. So, but I'm glad he's come out and had a good time with it. And just as well as all these guys, man. It's just something. Heck, I played
He's a
football till I was
he's a
30
Gridiron
years
League
old.
legend, Tony. He's a Gridiron
Yeah,
League legend.
he is, man.
Yeah.
He's getting to play it out. And
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say. I got to play football till I was like 30, 31 years old. And it was really just a chance to play it out until you were ready to let go. And some of these high school kids, without the Gridiron League, some of these kids would be done, in November. competition's done, over with, and so just being able to give them that opportunity, man. We'll see Hunter throwing touchdowns in some adult league one day here, against one of my teams here in a couple years. But who's our next matchup? We got the Cougars in
Cougars in
1776.
1776. Another
Okay.
good game. Another
Yeah.
good game.
This is
It
going to
means
be a
something
big.
too.
Yeah, this game's going to mean a lot when it comes to. They both got 7 wins. So really, the team that wins this game, whether they lose the other games, the team that wins this is going to be number 1 in the division. So 1776 is sitting there right now at 7-3. Cougars are 7-2. I think the reason they're sitting at number 1 right now, because they're 1-1 head to head. 1776 has scored 23, 33, 38 points, and Cougars have scored 32. And, so they're 6 points up, on them on that. But whoever wins this game, it doesn't matter about points. It'll just be 2-1. So they'll have it. So right now, 1776 has it. But then the last matchup we have, is Seymour and the Crushers. 1-1. This one's a big one too. Really, I know it's 2 of the lower teams, but whoever loses this one is going to be matched up against
the
number 3
17.
seed. They'll get the number 3 seed. So the loser out of that game, Crushers with Seymour, will probably be stuck playing pressure, Bearden, or team up.
Right.
And if they were to win, they're going to be playing against Carnes or Seymour. So that game needs to be a win for Seymour or whoever's trying not to play, get a little bit easier bracket. But, looking at the bracket, excuse me, Gunslinger division, it's kind of set. You got the 1 and 2 seed they're kind of playing for. Betsy Built sitting there right at number 3. CAK and the Hurricanes, 4 and 5. Grace Christian is not playing this weekend, so they would have been the 6th team in that seed. Probably shook it up a little bit because they were right in the middle. So they had an opportunity to move up a little bit or slide down. So, that's our Gunslinger division. The Gridiron division looks a little bit more, number 1 could be Team Up Black under pressure. And same thing for 2. And then, you get to that 3rd seed, really that's 1, 2, and 3 still up for grabs. They're all playing against each other. And we're going to see who, steps up and can have some good games. Then you got, I guess, number 4, Carnes and Seymour, are going to be sitting at that 4 seed, and all the way down at 5, Seymour, Crushers, and Carnes. So it's really a battle for the top 3 and the bottom 3. So, it's good. I like it like that. It's going to be a little harder punching stuff in and getting it all situated so we can, figure it out at the end of the day. But, we'll get that done and make sure all that stuff, logistics are good to go. But, overall, it looks like we got a good setup. I think we're going to have a really competitive weekend. It might be one of the most competitive weekends we've had. Just, games, that mean something. Let's see. When it comes to gameplay and games, that's really about it.
Tony.
I'll get the schedule out. I don't know if Corey, I don't know if it actually has it right now, the updated schedule. You might not. Okay, so Corey doesn't have that, so I will get that out to our coaches. We will still, we'll be at Catholic High School again. It is tournament weekend, so like we did a few weeks ago, there will be a charge, to get in. It'll be $10 a head. Adults get in, $10. Kids get in free. The way we'll actually do this, because it's a different facility, you'll pay, parents and, will pay when they drive on campus. You'll get your wristbands and all that, kind of like Battle and Rocky Top. You pull up on campus, pay, and then you park, and you have to have your gold. I don't know what color wristband, gold, something like that. But then you have to have your wristbands to get into the field area and all that good stuff. Just like normal, any other game day. We'll have food trucks out there. We'll have a venue for food and drinks, all that good stuff. Have some music going. Try to make it a fun event for the weekend. One of the
final week.
One of the big things with this being, our final week. We said it earlier. We've got, we got the, the playoffs brought to you by Reader Chevrolet. We'll have, one of the fun things we're trying to do this weekend is make it a little bit more interactive. So players, coaches, when you guys score this weekend, we're going to have some vehicles kind of in the background. Got some kind of sports car. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be. Have a nice, one of the big trucks come out. And so when you guys score, run to the cars, do backflips, pose in front of them. We'll have some camera guys and video guys to kind of get y'all some cool edits and, social media, presence or whatnot on that. I think it'll look really cool. We did that when I played arena football and, just added a little flair to
Flavor,
it.
little
Made it
flavor.
fun. Exactly. So we'll have some of those things going on. It's tournament weekend. I think the biggest thing that me and Carlos talk about, each week is, we've had a really safe league this year when it comes to, altercations. We've had a couple guys get hurt, here and there, bang their knees up and stuff. But the altercation part of it and I don't think people understand, Los, and you talk to these guys that do travel 7-on-7 and go out of town and go to these other tournaments. Guys, it's a free for all. It's not bump and run; it's bump and grind.
Right.
Tackle receivers. It gets crazy. Everybody's trying to fight and other things. So we've really, that's the one thing at the end of the day everybody asks, how'd the weekend go? And it's not, well, so and so won, so and so lost. It's like we had 0 fights. Everybody got along.
No altercations, none of that.
And I think that's what helps us to grow this thing. So we're just going to ask you. This weekend to come out and be super competitive. Do what you do, but just be smart. Play the game. We really want you guys to play it like it's Friday nights. On Friday night, you're not out there cussing at the refs. You're not out there yelling at the other players. You can talk trash, and I love it. But there's points during the game where you just cut it out, and then you play ball. And then you go back in, but you don't do it 24/7, man. The refs are going to throw flags, and that's the atmosphere we're trying to provide. And I think that's why we've been able to do what we're doing. We've got 30 teams in the league this year, a ton of high school teams in the league now. Coaches are trusting that this environment is what they're going to get, and that's what we're trying to push. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think each and every week, and you guys have done a really good job at it. To be honest with you, I mean, we've had probably at least of 2, 3 different little things here and there, but
minor things.
Nothing that shut something down. We hadn't had to cancel any games. Nobody's really been injured or anything like that. So, salute to you guys, just helping us with that part. Another thing I'd like to ask is, pick up your trash. It's something simple. Myself and Carlos, if you don't see us, we're out there janitor working and cleaning up, and, anybody else that works with us. But, it's just like being
help us out. Help us out.
Pick up your trash, please. Throw it away, and just come out and enjoy the weekend. Hopefully we'll have it live and ready to roll, and just finish this thing off with a bang.
Gridiron League playoff show, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you guys next Tuesday to kind of bring it back and talk about it and see who did their thing. But other than that, man,